Italy. Thank you, Alfredo.
Thank you for your introduction. So thank you, Chair Lady. And so good afternoon, everybody. The weather is getting worse, it seems. So, yeah, 2 words about me. It's a university professor in a technical university in Italy and secretary of this foundation that was launched thanks to the auspices of the European Commission some 20 years ago, more or less. And we mainly work in the field of e-services and the use of new technologies in different fields. My contribution today is in some way connected to the previous session dealing with security. And then I will explain you the background of this image on the cover, the gentleman with the box on his own hands. So the idea is basically to extend the studies and to try to create a common umbrella for not only for cybersecurity, but even for any kind of technology solution that will range in between security, safety, and more even about management of disaster, natural or human disaster and whatever. So let me, which one of the two? Right. Which direction? This one? Run out of power? Okay, that worked. Okay, good. So basically I have only 2 slides to introduce the topic, and this is the first one. As I already mentioned, the idea is to enlarge a little bit the focus and do not talk only about cybersecurity, but even consider all the technologies that will support humans, and not only humans, but even belongings and whatever in such a field. If we consider safety, we have health, we have safety on the working places, transportation. By the way, the background image is about one of the cars that it seems we can use here in Finland in order to test autonomous driving media of transportation. But as well, we have built environment, infrastructure, free time, whatever. And there are quite a lot of technologies that we can derive from ICTs in order to improve safety in all these and more even sectors. And if we speak about security, apart from cybersecurity, we have human security, security of assets, items, including food, drugs, and there are quite a lot of interesting applications in that field, in both fields, especially in drugs, in order to clearly identify the originals and clean up the word by some kind of copies, fake copies. And last but not least, even security of ideas. And again, today we heard something about this field. So that's basically the idea. And what is now? He's here, okay. Second slide is about some actions in this field. So as a member of the WISIS from the beginning, so the World Summit of Information Society, I heard for some 15 years about cybersecurity, and on the occasion of the last session we had on May 25, 29 in Geneva, we created a group in order to support the idea to enlarge the scope of this session. And quite a lot of members decided to join us in trying to improve these studies, including all the other things. And as a consequence, now on October 19th, we'll have the chance to debate about this on the occasion of the preparatory meeting for the United Nations in New York. And again, we hope this will include in the new program for the follow-up of the WISIS. That's all. The last slide, just to disclose the first image. The box there is a very nice device created by a group of Mexican guys under the leadership of a very clever Mexican, in order to provide 2 or 3 minutes advice for the citizens in case of earthquakes. It's a group of young people that developed this device with just, let's say, intercept the messages transmitted by the sensors and to the government offices in order to create a time zero alert for citizens, and they sold already 1 million of such kind of big, small boxes. There's a nice movie on video clip on YouTube describing all the work. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Alfredo. I've been actually very, as we didn't coordinate this, but very intrigued that the built environment keeps running through the session. And we're talking about the digital world. So you've emphasized 4 aspects of cybersecurity, taking us away from a more technical aspect to a more human one in terms of the areas we live in and how we deal with disasters in those areas. And I just wondered just a little bit more thinking behind why those 4 areas. The safety, security, disaster recovery and management.
The connection, there's a kind of background connection, because in a very similar way, I discovered that in my university there were quite a lot of skills in the field of security and safety in different departments, and then each one of them used to work as a standalone researcher. And no one tried to mix up the knowledge, the different skills in order to improve the service, improve the potential of the group. So it took some 10 years to me to put all of them together, creating originally a cluster of people dealing with chemical engineers, structural engineers, mechanical engineers, of course, information science people, and so on and so forth, to create this small unit. It's around 50 people there that share the same concept about security. And at the first meeting, we were around the table. Almost all of them said, "Oh, I heard very interesting things from my colleague working in the chemical sector, and I will transfer them to my sector, that is mechanical or whatever." And so starting from this small nucleus, we created a kind of international group that was later on called the Joint Research Group, aggregating additional forces in order to improve this holistic vision about, let's say, risk assessment in general. This is very close to what I mentioned in my presentation. So the idea to try to put together things that are usually separated, because the guys developing the cube will work for earthquakes, there's someone else looking after sensors in building construction in order to make safer workers there, or other people working for, let's say, electronic noses to sniff some dangerous gases. So that's more or less a connection to try to have a 360-degree approach. I hope I replied to your question, and I don't know.
I know the audience will have, our colleagues in the audience will have more questions for you, I'm absolutely sure. And thank you to all.